Hello, fourth graders. It's Miss Kovarik. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you got outside. We've had a couple really nice days, and I hope you're ready to start your school week. So, I'm here with science today. First thing you're going to do is watch this video right here, Weather versus Climate. It's one of those Generation Genius videos. So go ahead and watch that, pause my video, and come back here when you're done. Now that you're done with the Generation Genius video, you're going to follow along with me and answer the questions on this Google form right here. So you should be looking at Science Lesson 14. As I go through the slideshow and as I go through these questions, feel free to pause my video and answer any questions you want to and then come back to me. Remember, you can also rewind, go back if you missed anything, or if you need to rewatch. All right, so this is also on your assignment if you want to go back to it. So we're going to be talking about weather versus climate. I know we did learn a little bit about weather back when we were in the classroom together, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper because there were some misconceptions about what climate is and what weather is. So some vocab you're going to need. The atmosphere is everything, all those gases that surround our Earth. So remember, that goes up pretty far, because if you keep going all the way up through our atmosphere, eventually you'll be in outer space. So the atmosphere is before outer space, all of that gas and the clouds and everything that is surrounding our planet. Weather is the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere. So this varies every single day. Someday it might be sunny, the next day it might be raining, the next day it might be cloudy. It depends on every single day what's going to happen. And there's an example of it in this picture right here. So in this example, Monday's weather would be a high of 55, and this is throughout the day. So it's going to be cloudy. The sun was out during the day, 50s, 40s, and then later at the night it gets into 39. So that would be the weather for that specific day. Now, when we're talking about weather over a long period of time, we're talking about the climate of a specific area. So if we were talking about the climate in Florida, we'd talk about how they have a really hot summer. We'd talk about how it's very humid there. And we'd talk about how they do have a different season besides summer, but it doesn't get cold there. The coldest it might get is 40s, 50s, 60s. It's not going to get too cold and snow there very often. So that would be the climate of Florida. Now, right now, it might be raining and 60 degrees and cloudy in Florida, and that would be the weather. If we were talking about Syracuse, New York, we might talk about our 4 seasons. So we can say Syracuse is very snowy in the wintertime. In the summertime, it gets pretty hot here. It's usually nice and warm. The sun's usually out. We have a really calm fall where it gets nice, cool, and crisp. We have a rainy spring. Those are climates, because it's not talking about the specific day. It's talking about how something usually is over time. Okay, so when we're talking about weather, excuse me, we're talking about what's going on in the atmosphere. So some words we're going to use for that is going to be temperature. That's how hot or cold it is. So if I would say it is 55 degrees out right now, I'm talking about how warm it is or how cold it is. That's the temperature, the degrees. Next would be precipitation, and we know from our weather unit that is snow, rain, sleet, or hail. Any type of water that is coming down from the clouds and falling down to the earth is precipitation, and there are 4 types of that. We're talking about wind, so how fast is the wind going that day? Is there any wind? Is there no wind? That's part of the weather. And the last one is air pressure. We talked about this briefly in the weather unit. The pressure is the amount of pressure that's being pushed down on the earth. So as you can see in this picture here, there can be high air pressure or there can be low air pressure. It depends on how much is in the atmosphere and how hard it's pushing down on Earth. All right, some tools that we use to measure weather and to predict weather and to forecast weather. The first one is a rain gauge. And as you can see in the picture here, it collects rain and it tells you how much precipitation happens over a period of time. This is a thermometer, and a thermometer measures temperature. So you would look at the mercury right here, this red part, and it would tell you how hot or cold it is in a certain area at a specific time. We've got a barometer over here, this circular object, and this measures the air pressure. So this would measure, is that air really, really heavy today? Is it pushing down really hard, or is it a light air that is not pushing down on Earth very hard? And then this is an, I always say this wrong, anemometer, or it's also called a wind vane. And this is one of those things that spins around and it measures how fast that wind is actually going. So it measures the speed of the wind. Now, who studies weather? A meteorologist, and they do many different things. They work behind the scenes here. They track weather. They use maps. They use all these different types of technologies that we have. And then they also tell us what the weather's going to be like. So when we turn on the weather on the news, that is a meteorologist that is telling us what the weather is going to be like. So how are weather and climate different? We just talked about this. I'm going to review it, and then you're going to need to use that information on your answers. So remember, weather is talking about one specific time. Right now, what is the weather? What does the cloud look like? What does the wind feel like? Is there any rain, snow falling from the sky? Is it hot? Is it cold? That is the weather of a specific time. Now, when we're talking about climate, we're talking about those long periods of time. So a climate of Syracuse would be our very cold and very snowy winters. That happens over a long period of time. Does it snow every single day in the winter? No, it doesn't. And that would be weather. When we're talking about those long periods of time, it usually snows in Syracuse in the winter. That is climate. All right, I hope that helped you guys. I did want to take a quick screenshot of this because you're going to use it in your Google Forms questions. I'm going to have you look up the weather for the last part of your assignment, and you're going to find something like this. And these are the 3 different things you need to pay attention to. So the temperature is going to be right here. We live in the United States, so we use the metric system, which means, the customary system, which is Fahrenheit. So you're going to be using the Fahrenheit, and it's going to tell you that number in the big black font. So when I took this screenshot, which was Friday night, it was 37 degrees outside, which is kind of cold, not snowy cold, but still pretty cold. Over here, the precipitation. So right now there's a 73% chance of precipitation right now. That's pretty high. It's not snowing or raining right now, but it was earlier, so it means that there's a good chance it could start again. We're not going to talk about humidity right now, but that does mean how much water is in the air. And then we're going to have the wind. So the wind is 17 miles per hour, which is not very high at all, but it does mean there's a small breeze outside. All right, let's take a look at your questions real quick. So science lesson 14. It says first watch Generation Genius, then watch Miss K's video. Use the PowerPoint to answer the questions. You will have access to this PowerPoint. Please go back and use it. Go back to my video, rewind, do what you need to do. So you're going to tell me, I've given you 3 different examples, and you're going to tell me if it is weather or if it is climate. And we just talked a lot about that, so make sure to go back and look if you forgot. So the 4 seasons, am I talking about weather, short period of time, or climate, long period of time? Weather means right now, this second, what's going on in the atmosphere. Climate is usually this happens. So when I'm talking about seasons, is that weather or climate? So in that Generation Genius video, that boy walked outside with sunscreen on and his bathing suit and a tank top, and it was June, and he walked out and it was freezing cold outside. So he was very confused. Was him assuming that it was going to be warm and sunny outside because it was June? Is that weather or is that climate? Okay. If I bring an umbrella somewhere because it's supposed to rain, am I talking about weather, day to day, or am I talking about climate, long period of time? Next one. Sorry, guys, my throat's really dry. Which choice does not describe a type of weather? So go back to this slide here. That tells you the different parts of weather. This purple one, weather consists of sunny, snowy, spring, or windy. Which one does not describe weather? All right, now it says go to Google and look up the weather for today. Use it to answer the questions below. So all I did for this was open up a new tab, and in Google, I'm just going to type in weather. And there is that screenshot that I just showed you. So again, you're going to use this to tell me what is the temperature right now. So you're going to type in 37 degrees. And you can write Fahrenheit too. I'm going to just assume you're doing Fahrenheit. Whatever the temperature is when you look this up, that's what you're going to write. What is the chance of precipitation? So right now, there is now a 50% chance of precipitation. So I would write 50%. And then what is the wind speed right now? And that's going to be right here next to wind. Right now there is 17 miles per hour of wind. All right, that is all I have for you today. I hope you have a great Monday, and please make sure to reach out to teachers if you need any help. Check out that Zoom schedule, leave a comment, message us on Dojo. We're here to help you. Bye guys, have a good day.